Sex doesn't end later on in life. In fact, many women rediscover their sexuality at this time of life and realize what they've been missing. Hi, I'm Maureen McGrath, registered nurse, sexual health educator, and brand ambassador for Viva products. There's a common misconception that as women age, sex simply stops, that desire dries up and pleasure becomes a thing of the past. But the truth is much more hopeful. Research published in the New England Journal of Medicine reveals that around 26 to 30% of women over the age of 70 are still sexually active, with more than half of women in their 70s and 80s reporting they continue to experience sexual desire. Desire doesn't disappear with age, it evolves. Sexuality later in life can be softer, deeper, more intentional, and more satisfying. But for many women, it doesn't always feel that way. You didn't plan to want to stop having sex. It didn't vanish overnight. It faded slowly, a quiet drifting away, a sense of reluctance that grew heavier with time. That was followed by the careful avoidance of those moments when, not tonight, honey, becomes a tension filled silence, a sigh, or simple distance. At first, you thought it was just life, shifting hormones, sleep disruptions, overbusy retirement. And maybe it was at first, but now it's been weeks, months, and maybe even years. In my TEDx talk on the no sex marriage, I share how the slow erosion of intimacy affects so many relationships, and acknowledging these feelings is the first step toward healing. After my TEDx presentation, I want to share a little story with you. The gentleman who had invited me to speak said that no one would watch my presentation and suggested that I edit it, cut it in half, he said. I spoke to a physician colleague and he said, if you want to please the TEDx people, edit it. If you want to please the world, keep it exactly the way it is, because I see this in my clinical practice every single day. I'm glad I took his good advice. The talk has since had over 36 million views, and it really wasn't the greatest talk, but it did underscore how many people could relate to the topic. And we don't talk about it. Sex, that is. But this conversation isn't just about sex, it's about connection, closeness, touch, presence, and above all, joy. The kind that makes you feel alive in your own skin again. Your desire didn't disappear because you're older. It didn't vanish just because your hormones changed. It faded because you've been giving from a well that hasn't been refilled. Sex becomes harder to want when you're disconnected from your own pleasure, when your needs are overlooked, when you've spent years tolerating dryness, pain, low libido, numbness, a lack of desire. And these aren't personal failures or signs that you're broken. They're signs that your body and spirit are asking for care, and that is something that you deserve. And this is where intimate wellness tools like the Viva Milana can make a real difference. Created with women's changing bodies in mind, it's a gentle, effective tool to reconnect you with your pleasure without shame, pressure, or pain. It's about rediscovering your body, learning what feels good now, reclaiming confidence, connection, and comfort on your terms. It goes beyond the bedroom, affecting whole body health, from better sleep to reduced pain to improved mood and emotional well being. More and more women are saying yes to comfort, yes to connection, yes to pleasure, and yes, yes, yes to themselves. If you're ready to start that conversation, to reignite your spark, to remember what it feels like to be touched, held, desired, I invite you to take that first step. Visit savvy-viva.com to learn more about Viva products. And for a limited time, use the code MM20 for 20% off of all Viva products. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to watch my TEDx talk on the no sex marriage. You'll find it online. Just search my name and TEDx, and you'll see you are far from alone. Because your pleasure matters, your health matters, and you matter at every age and every stage. And it's never too late to reconnect with that part of you again.